One of the more annoying squads in Broken Arrow when you have to fight against them is probably the standoff RC. I'm not saying that the CQC one isn't as lethal, but considering that this squad can engage anything at 600 meters or less, they are pretty suppressing since most of the squads only have 400 meters of engaging range and they're just annoying. And also with an availability of 4, it's hard to say that like your SF opponent isn't always going to run these things around. And with the addition of the Baltic Battalion, how about we turn that to 8 of them? That sounds fairly fun, doesn't it? Well, that's exactly what the Baltic and SF specialize, or the deck is for, and that's also what we're going to be playing today in our Baltic Battalion and SF deck. So guys, welcome. My name's Goran, and we're going to be featuring a replay, although not 100% complete. It's a 80% 5v5 on Root of Forest, and I'll be talking about the deck first really quick. As I mentioned earlier, well, yeah, I did say this is an 8RC deck, but I ended up having 4 on close quarters and 4 on, like the Jaegers are only standoff, so there's going to be like half of it's going to be CQC and half of it's going to be standoff, although at the end of the day, I'm still here just for the rockets. They're really good at RPGs. Sorry, AT rockets. So the idea on using these squads is that, okay, when you go into the forest, just bring the RC. If when you go into like buildings, you have to stop hopping around, or you have a bit of cover, then use the Jaegers. I mean, they're equally good. It's just that if your opponent uses smoke and is in a forest, then yeah, definitely don't bring the Jaegers because they are not suited for this kind of combat. It would be the RC's job, like the CQC one. And for the other recon squads, there actually aren't that much. There isn't that much to it. It's just like this guy can swim. You have some snipers just for either infiltration or just hiding in the building, spotting stuff. And since you have a bunch of lasers, which is the SDT, then you probably don't. I probably don't need that much snipers. Green Beret Punishers are just here for like some extra DPS at like 600 meters range, which is decent. And then that's like a pretty solid recon tab for like fighting your opponent. And then when something doesn't work out, like when they need support, then that's when you bring in the infantry tab, which is still very like enormous, to say the least. For example, we have the Zalukai. This is from I forgot which nation this was from, but they're basically like a Marine Raider CQC squad, and then like kind of mixed together with the Delta squad, except they're smaller. We also have the Delta squad itself. You can bring the close quarters. You can also bring the standoff, which is also really efficient at tearing infantry apart. I think I eventually went back to close quarters just because I found it really annoying to deal with like the clown cars from Coastal. And then the next thing, which was quite nice, is that the Yalaveyagu from, I also forgot which nation this is from, but they do have 4 Spike SRs, which is capable of dealing with a lot of infantry transports at like a decent range. It's 800 meters. You fire them one after another, like you just fire 4 in like 5 seconds amount of time, and since they're fire and forget, your opponent really has to smoke up just to try to dodge them. Now we also pair these infantry with the Mark IV CV90. This is a really good vehicle, and I am currently making a video on how to use it. So yeah, like, but the TLDR, the quick summary is that the front armor is great. The heat armor is kind of bad, so don't try to push it in against like push them into like 400 meters range if you don't want to get blasted. They get 2-shot by tanks, so that's also not good. But their gun and their spikes are absolutely fantastic. There's also the Vilkas that I forgot to mention. These guys run faster. Since they're wheeled, but they also have less armor and health. But they can and absolutely will be carrying like the bigger 9-man squads instead of the CV90's 8-man capacity. Last but not least, we have a couple weapon teams here. The Ranger Stinger, which is cheap for the Stinger, and the MG that like shoots pretty far. There's also the Milan that it seems like it's kind of you know, cheap and troll, but in reality, it does hit pretty hard, and it does kind of force your opponent to not, to basically not stand in line of the fire of the Milan. So this is also a pretty decent squad for its price. Last but not least, we have the Kites Elite. I think these guys, I have mixed feelings for these guys because they aren't really strong by themselves, but if you pair it with any other infantry squad out there, then they will kind of wreck stuff because they can always shoot infantry. They will always destroy APS. So definitely a squad worth taking. Although I don't think like the problem is like you have to micro these squads just to try to make them work. Even though they're fairly cheap, they also die really quickly, and if you just leave them out in the open, that's just free points given to your opponent. So yeah, definitely a tough squad to use. I mean, they're cheap, but still, there are other options that you can try. Like for example, this one has a bit more engagement range, 600 meters, 500, 450, and a Carl Gustav M2. This one is basically like an AT4, but with a little bit more range. So this is also like, I think this is also a good squad because you can pair two of them together for 70 points, and then inside like one of these XA 180s, and then you just pop them into the building, and then they can shoot two AT4s at the same time, basically. So this also works. I'm bringing these just for anti-infantry, although I already have like 2, 3, 5, 9 CQC squads, so maybe I think I can run this. Yeah, but that's totally up to you. And then, yeah, for the vehicle tab, and I mean, for the next 3 tabs, it's pretty much a bit, you know, it's the same thing. You always want the double leopards. And then for the other vehicle, I have been, even though I do have the Gehwagen, I don't think these guys are, like, this truck is that great, but instead try to use the Type X RCV, which if you give it like the spikes along with the Bushmaster, this is actually a really good vehicle because off-road this thing goes 60 speed and it's really fast in force and stuff. And what you can do is you can basically oh, I don't have enough points for 3, I guess I'll take 2. Is that you can just hide them at the edge of a forest, and then when your opponent pushes in, you just fire 2, and then you go back to resupply. And because they have the cover of the forest, they can go like they can they clear their line of sight really quickly, so they can go dark. And compared to like the CV90 that is really expensive to try to do this, I mean, when you want to do this with the CV90, it's quite expensive. You can have 2 of these for the price of 1 CV90. Same with the Vilkas, except they're actually less effective off-road and in forest. So that's why I think the tracked RCV or Type X is ultimately going to be the perfect or ideal vehicle for like just being sneaky in a forest, at the edge of a forest, that is. At the end we have some things in the support tab. I think this would be like this. This is fair, you know. 2 irises, 2 NASMs for helicopters, some logistics, a mortar, and 2 mortars. You can also take 1. It's up to you. And then the Panzerhaubitze a 2000. Although nowadays I'm kind of going back to like the Co. Where's the Co? Yeah, I personally think that the Co is also like a really strong vehicle. Like, you definitely don't sleep on this, whether it be the extended range variant or the high explosive variant. Like, both of these are really, really good for artillery pieces. And then, yeah, then at the end, this is just your standard like soft helicopter tab along with the air tab with 2 F-35s and the 2 F-22s. This is a build that you could not run if you were playing soft, armored soft, that kind of stuff, because you would have like, you'd be 90 points, 85 points too many, you know, 85 points across the cap. So yeah, that's what I think about this deck, and we'll be going to the replay very, very soon. And before we continue the video, I want to give a quick thanks to my good friends and supporters, KP, Kiko, and Nova, along with the boys from BA Armory. And I'll see you at the end of the replay. Okay. freeze, can you nuke later? You deserve it. Why not? Yes, you are playing the video game, but... My brain is completely fried to the point I do not know what to do. That's pretty bad. Oh, that's nasty though. Janitor lock. And you fried my brain to the point I don't even know what to spawn. Yes. No, I legit don't know what to spawn now. Where to spawn? Yippee. Oh, is it? Does he have a nuke? No. Why? I'll leave you to him. I don't wanna ruin the 1v2 fun. My guy though. Dude, if you can't play the game, oh, my guys, hold up. Oh, he's gonna double down. Yeah, I thought my guy would come over, but he's not, so I'm gonna come out. do you want him? Oh well, turns out there was a guy in my backline with a T. This, I'll deal with it. Here, buddy. I'll bring you some supplies. Alright, here are your supplies. Guys, I'm just saying there is a BTR somewhere in our back line. He's just snuck it into my back line. How many tanks this guy have? This guy just perma-spamming tanks, sure buddy. spider that's just hiding there in the bush. This guy doesn't can't do that. Sorry that I lost the cap up for a second. Oh. Found his on the one on the left is dead. There it is. Why do I have plus 4,000 points per turn? I need to reconnect. No? Yeah, if I could give you the points, sure. Let's see, it's my points. Still like there it is. I just sending constant re-evs into it. pickpocketers. Bug. I'll give you my supplies. Tell me what to do. Get nuked together. Interesting. Got more supplies coming. Yikes. I'm sorry that I base out. Unfortunately for us, the match was cut short because, well, some people disconnected, and as we know, the servers aren't really stable on this, like, you know, when we have to play on the DLC patch. This is not going to reflect on, like, hopefully this doesn't reflect on the live patch, because the devs were using a different server just to try everything, including the testing. So these are the old servers, I think. I'm led to believe, and yeah. So I think that's like what ended up happening at the end of the game. So that's why we couldn't have like a really good ending of any sort. It was just kind of a lousy surrender, but that's because of hardware issues. And I think ultimately I guess it's kind of a weakness, but like even though this deck does have access to Delta forces, just like Baltic+SOF, they really don't have the transports to like ferry the Delta squad around. So when it comes to like dealing with shit boxes or like clown cars from Coastal, like the BT3F or the US's AMPV, or even the Marines AAVP, this deck will have a bit of trouble with like trying to get the deltas into the right spot and them not getting blown up. I mean, their Warpig not getting blown up in the first place. So yeah, that's what I think is also a kind of a minor inconvenience that this deck has, and it kind of needs to be fixed by either playing the Warpig really carefully or something like that. So yeah, but then, like, you know, not every deck can be perfect. So I hope you guys had fun watching this replay, or you at least had some insight of what this deck would be like when when I'm being forced to play with against a guy that has a bunch of smokes and just runs it down. Obviously, I think he did play pretty well though, and I had struggled like for a good majority of the match, even though he had no APS at all. So, oh wait, he had one tank with APS, but that's about it. Yeah, guys, thank you for watching until the very end. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye. Take care.